Because if you're the one who's writing your own code, experiencing your own code, and the editor of your own code, you require nothing else.
In modern psychology right now, it is unanimously agreed upon that like 95% of who you are is just running on some old childhood memory or something that happened, these moments in your life that you have not either let go or processed or...
If all these things people are saying are true, if ask and it is given is true, and if God exists, and if this happens, and if that happens, all the things people have said to me that I'm told to believe, and I don't know that, like, prove it.
Why is that so hard? Because everybody listening to this right now would say, I choose the other side. I choose it right now. Why is it so damn hard?
Because choosing is not deciding. We bought programming. I say bought, it's like shopping. Oh yeah, I'm not good enough. Throw that in the basket. Right? My experience is, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve that, whatever. Those programming, it's all of it programming. When you decide something, here's where I'm going to circle this back around. When you decide something, it must be true. Your reality must show it to you. Meaning you can decide something shitty and have a shitty experience because you decided that that was true for you.
I want all the things that are positive for my family, my girls, and like it'll make me emotional because I care about it a lot. I'm ready to go, you know? That's how I feel. Ready to go.
Static in the mind, but the signal's clear. Close both eyes and you disappear. Slide through the seams and reality scream. Wake up inside of an in-between. I'm not here to preach a story you can't feel.
What's going on, everybody? So this interview I've been sitting on for months. It's with Wendy, and we recorded this back in October. I want to say late October. And I was waiting because I wanted to see what happened. So Wendy, I came across completely organically. She works with high performers, so musicians, NFL athletes, CEOs, entrepreneurs. She just is in that world. And she has this gift where she can see the programming that's running behind the scenes. And I know that sounds crazy, but she literally sees it like numbers, she said, like the Matrix. And yeah, I don't know. I was skeptical when I first heard about it, but I've done sessions with her. The things we focused on, she said she turned off. And I was like, okay, well, if you turn it off, let's see, right? Let's see if things change in my life. And they did. So that's why I'm releasing this episode today. It's why I partnered with her on a bigger scale, and we created something for you guys in the world of manifestation, law of attraction. I think you guys should understand too that like from ancient people like Jesus, who said the kingdom is within, to Buddha, who said your mind creates your world, and then Gandhi saying you become what you think. Like, and I can go on and on about coaches and athletes in the modern era, and that psychologists who study right at MIT, Harvard, and they all say 95% of our world is ran by our subconscious mind, right? You can call them childhood traumas, but it's widely accepted that this is a thing. It's why quantum theory is like, it's agreed upon by the smartest individuals in the world. You can sit there and say that manifestation is woo-woo, and I pray and I hope that someday, whether it's through my video or through someone else, that you start leaning into the fact that you are a creator, because some cool things start happening when you do that. I want to say this, you don't need a program. You have this power built into you. Just like you could go to the gym and get in shape, you don't need a personal trainer. That's really what this kind of is. It's to help you and walk with you if you are wanting that. But if you are not, I would say go buy the book, Reality Transurfing. That's probably the best place to start. That's where I started this whole journey, like truthfully. And then that'll give you a ton of ideas, and you can do this all on your own. But if you want support, and you want a community, and you want someone who's an actual pro and their specialty is viewing the code, right, that's running behind the scenes in your life, then Wendy's got a pretty sweet thing for you guys. So I'm going to link it all down below. I love this subject. I will continue to talk about it until I'm blue in the face. It's something that I will continue to build and hopefully inspire you guys around, because it's changed my life ever since I leaned into it. So I was very excited to do this with Wendy. I waited purposely to see how things panned out. And so, yeah, I'm not going to say much more on that. If you have questions, shoot me an email about it. Other than that, I hope you enjoy this conversation. We really talk a lot about turning a belief into a knowing, and how do you actually get there? How does someone actually do that? And I think you guys really like this. If you got something out of this episode, let me know down below. Leave me a comment. And definitely let me know who I should interview next. I say it in every episode because it's true. It's how I find out about 99% of the people that you see on this podcast is through the comments. So send them my way, please. I will reach out. And yeah, without further ado, let's get on with this one. Cheers. Like anything, it's universal, meaning like
Yes.
if there's ever a situation going on that started in the parents, or at least the people they're around.
It's never them, it's always you. So it didn't start anywhere. It begins and ends with you. Your experience in the holographic sense is you're seeing what you're being. This is a literal reflection. So if it's someone else causing a lower frequency emotional response, like a negative response, then that is just your indicator that you're running a program that's showing itself to you and you can feel the misalignment. So it's never them, it's always you, because they're not out of alignment. It's you that's experiencing the misalignment. It's you. I think that's the greatest gift. Once you allow yourself to know that's true, not hope or pray it's true or believe that it's true, but know it, the whole game changes. Because then you can't point the finger and blame or judgment anymore. You just can't. It's impossible because you're really just pointing at yourself, the reflection of you and someone else.
Yeah. Wow.
Massively powerful, massively powerful. And in my consideration of what to gift, what to deliver to the audience today in the form of understanding is that the only thing you can know is that once you know that the like and it's weird that I've never said this before, like the kingdom of heaven is yours. That's what the language is coming through and I have no idea where that came from. What you're being is what you're seeing. Knowing that you are literally the creator of your reality and you're experiencing it in real time. Right? So as much as this topic is like it has such depth and breadth, the simplicity of it is that you are everything that you're seeing. Even if you don't like it, even if you're seeing atrocious things in the world, your
Yeah, people have
response
a
to
hard
it.
time with that, right? Because
I
depending on what they're
know.
going through, it's just like, well, fuck you, right? Like I'm going through some really hard times. How do you walk someone through that? Like if because so I know you personally
Yeah.
for those, and I will do an intro separate to this,
Yeah.
but you want to help people and you want to
Yeah.
impact people like most people who come on this podcast. That is, I can feel that is genuinely what they want to do.
Yeah.
I safeguard this podcast now, especially as it's grown a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I gotta be careful with who I bring on. So I try my best to get to know people before they hop on, at least the best I can. I feel I have a good discernment, and I do. I think your ultimate goal is to impact people in a positive way, and to get them to see these things, like to move them from belief to knowing. And you are seeing what you are is really hard for some people to process. So when you come across someone like that who's like, Wendy, just my life is so shitty. Like what am I doing? And then it's not just there's an acceptance to that, right? Of like, okay, let's say they accepted it. You're still in the chaos. Like I'm a good example of that. Like the things we've been working on together, I accept it. I go, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I am seeing what I am being, or what's internal. And it's not just you, but it's it's years now of me diving into these topics. I know that is true. I do. In the moment, I got to tell you, it's very difficult still.
Mm-hmm.
And it just adds a little twang, at least for me, of doubt. And I
Yeah.
wonder how you fully get someone to remove complete doubt, because a knowing is absence of doubt. It is like, that is, belief has doubt baked in, whether we think it is or not. There's doubt in there. How do you do that? What is the first steps?
That's such a good question. I mean, I love that you said that. Did you have that already? Or is that from me?
Oh, I'm just talking right now. Yeah. No,
Okay.
this is yeah.
The belief part. Because that's the one thing that I part of the, I guess you'd say, reflection, education, remembering is if you believe something, you don't know it. That's
So
just
that I do,
that's
I'm
the
using that
key.
from you. I will say
Yeah.
this, so prior to you, after these conversations, I have come to my own conclusion. I was like, you know what? This is a game of beliefs, it feels like, and the game is turning beliefs into knowings. It's like the more you can do that, the better, because the more you know something, that is what creates change. I think I gave you the example of my friend who's like, I really feel like if I believe hard enough that I
Yeah.
could fly, I could fly. And I was like, no, if you believe it, you cannot know it. And that right there is from you for sure.
Yeah. Well, why I say that? Because that is the key. That's the key to it. And each human is so unique, right? My perspective is we have a unique human technology, born with it. We all have it. The thing is, we were never taught to use it. So because of that, we struggle with buying into the narrative that you have to be really smart to know stuff.
Mhm.
That's not actually true. I mean, smart is data placed into the ego brain. Well, okay. But your soul knows everything. It is deeply connected to all that is. It is all that is. So you have access to all that is, which is all data. So the struggle is all data with a knowing versus a believing, which is what you've been taught, what you've bought about what you think is true. So the thinker itself, someone who's a deep thinker who needs to be intelligent, doesn't always have the capacity to know things. They learn stuff, but they don't know it. Right? So those two things are really tough to separate because we've been taught to go to school. You want to be the smart person. You got to get good grades. And we have a whole measuring system that shows you that it's worth getting those grades because then you can get into university and then you can get a great job. And if you look at the times now, well, a lot of people don't need that anymore unless it's something, medical or lawyer or something that requires that level of certification. And that makes sense. But to shift from a belief to knowing, like even religions are deeply steeped in belief,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's such a wobbly place. Some people have to get to the point where they're so tired of fighting their own selves in their life to get what they want that they finally go, fine, like, what do I know? And then that arrival of simplicity shows up, right? What do you know? Well, I know that I have a family because I'm living with them. So, right. I know you start beginning to
Mm-hmm.
start at the beginning. You're almost, I would say, I like my personal experience. I got really ignorant about what I was saying when I first arrived with when I first was kind of given I gave myself my own keys to the multiverse. I was super ignorant in it because I was a person. I'm like sick of this life and fighting for what I want, always being on the bottom. It feels like because what I want feels like it's just so far away. And then I was quite ignorant, and I was like, fine. If all these things people are saying are true, if asking it is given is true, and if God exists, and if this happens, and if that happens, all the things people have said to me that I'm told to believe, and I don't know that, like, prove it to me so
Mm-hmm.
that I know it. That's where I stood. And I was like speaking to myself in the mirror, being super vulgar and ignorant and judgmental. I was all the things. I'm like, I've had it. This is enough for me. I have had it. I hate it here. I'm not happy. I'm not joyful. I'm not experiencing the kind of life that I want. It sucks here. I just hate it. And that's when I can look back now and see what I knew. Because you literally cannot have that opinion without knowing the opposite exists at the same time. Because how do you know you hate something or don't like something or it's not working for you if you know the other side exists? That it should and that you want it. And so I realized that moment, I'm like, fine, if all stuff is true, then what I'm after are all my gifts. Drop them on me now or pluck me off this godforsaken and hurling stone in the multiverse because it sucks here and I hate it. I'm not having fun. And that's what I want. And I can only know that I'm not having fun. When I'm not having fun, the opposite must exist for me to actually have a desire for the opposite to occur. Right. And that was what started this whole thing, because I had a lot of really great experience and I knew that I was a really intelligent human just from, the data that I experienced growing up with. But that moment changed everything, because the experience that I had is what caused me to know what I know now. And it often, like, I don't want it to be that way, but some people just have to be sick of their own shit. I was sick of my own shit, not getting what I wanted.
Same.
Why? Right? And that's the only, like, I was a very deep thinker, and I would think deep and shallow and always be thinking. I don't know if you've ever heard the statement, thinking is stinking. Because this thing does not know anything except for the data that you have taught it up until now. And if you taught it everything it knows and you're not getting what you want, how much is that is correct?
You think you're thinking, but you're remembering. You're just repeating.
You're not even remembering. You're just like activating data in the
It's a loop.
thinker field. Yeah. So
Mhm.
when you finally realize that, you're like, oh, right?
And literally, like, even if you want to take away and I know you and I both kind of like the spiritual word. It's like, okay, but if you want to take all that away, right?
Yeah.
In modern psychology, right now, it is unanimously agreed upon that like 95% of who you are is just running on some old childhood memory or something that happened. These moments in your life that you have not either let go or processed, or it's still in you. And so you think that when you're reacting this way, it's because that moment pissed you off, but really it was like your boss, like 10 years ago, that said something to you, right? That's triggering that. And so it's just like one of those things that when you really like zoom out, I can see that, wow, it's talked about in almost every facet of life. In sports, they talk about, like, the greatest of all time talk about their mind and these programs that they're running, and like, it all starts up here. You got to start working on up here. They're
Yeah.
pointing to their brain, but what they're saying though is eliminating these limiting beliefs, right? Or these, like, there's different words for them, but you start to see that thread. I spent so much time, Wendy, and we will dive into to everything that like you and how you got to where you're at, but I want to pull on this thread a little bit, because I spent a lot of time thinking about exactly what we're talking about. Okay, like, I really am obsessed with it almost. Like, how do I get or help people go from belief to knowing, belief to knowing? Prior to even you, like, I've felt that is like, that is what we need to do. Um, and then the only thing I can come up with is like, okay, does faith bridge that gap to knowing? I was like, maybe, but you're kind of like taking a blind. It's almost like temporary, right? Until what happens? Probably an experience. So experience seems to be like the one of the best bridges to get from belief to knowing. You have an experience, and that changes everything. It's one of my moments, right, where I thought out of body stuff was cool, and I was like, I want to believe that it's real. And then you have a moment, experience, and you go, wait a minute. You're telling me that this is real, and then that shift starts happening, right? Where you go to a knowing. But the more I think about experience, the more I go, okay, but it's also a double-edged sword, because there are times where you have an experience and it locks you into a certain thing. That could be a religion. It could be your view of the world. It could be so many other things. And you go, okay, so it's not just about the experience too. And then this is where I get lost and I go, okay, so what is it? How do you get someone to a knowing? Because it seems like experience will get you there, but there's potholes in that, in that bridge. It's not a perfect, smooth bridge.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Yeah. I think while you're explaining that, I'm reveling in seeing how you reflect a lot of humanity in the thinking zone outside of
Mhm.
you thinking. What is it? I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. What makes sense? I'm going to research. I'm going to put those pieces of puzzle together. That's outside of you thinking. I
Yeah.
didn't feel you go in and ask that question to see what arose.
No, that's all up here.
Yeah. And that's where all the programs live. So as you're hunting in your brain and looking for that evidence in something outside of you, you're missing the thing that will actually give you the knowing. Because this only knows what you taught it, and you're teaching it more things as you read and research and look up. And that's intelligence here. But it's the soul intelligence and the EQ going together that's going to gift you what you're after, what you want to know. Right? The thinking gets us in trouble. And my invitation to you is to hear yourself when you say it. Put a little ping on that word the second you say, I think, I think, I think. Because you as a being are not I think, you are I am. Right? And as soon as you say I think, you're functioning from a whole different place. And that only carries the data that you've fed it. And most often, all of the limiting beliefs that you have will come from there. So the view and the lens you're looking through, thinking through, is baked right in the limitations. So will you find what you're after up there?
No, like I said, I'll think I figured it out, and then I'll go, and even then I just said it right. I think I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But no, I end up maybe a slightly closer, or I feel like I am, but then it's never satisfying.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I have. It's like it's never quite.
Yeah.
It's the same when you have conversations about why we're here and what, it's the same thing. It's like you get these perspectives and it sounds really good in the moment. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, but it's all it's someone else's at the end of the day. Like everyone listening too. It's like when I started this channel, Wendy, I wanted people to experience things. That was like my
Yeah.
big motto. That's like when I again, gosh, I'm noticing how many times I think now. When I thought about it and think about it, I was like, it would be really cool to get people to have experiences or encourage them to go do it. Like kind of like that dating app of Hinge, where it's like they say it's the only dating app designed to like for you to uninstall it after. I was like, oh, that's kind of clever. But
Oh.
I've kind of felt the same. I was like, I want you to hear it, get inspired, and maybe like, all right, if this doofus could do it or has an experience, maybe I can too. And he's made a lot of mistakes, and like, so have I. And then I'll go try something, and hopefully you get those moments because I know that'll light a fire, and you'll be on your way into whatever way that is. It's not my way, and it's not your way. It's your own way. And usually it is it's not, that is an internal thing. And I do spend a lot of time trying to do that. But you're so right when my pattern is so deep that I don't even catch myself. Like I do spend a lot of time meditating and I try to make daily time for it and breath work. But you get me out of that moment and I'm instantly back into this conversation or that conversation and thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking,
Yeah.
not realizing that it really is a pure internal game. And yeah, it's pretty fascinating. It's pretty fascinating.
I love it. So what I'm hearing you say is that the ultimate goal would be to experience that level of peace and knowing while you're awake, while you're conscious, while you're moving
Yeah.
through that is the key. That's truly the key. How ironic.
That's heaven on earth, right?
I'm
Like that is what.
I'm feeling like I love watching you get there. Truly.
Well,
Because that's what it is. I know you to be a deep thinker and a thinker. And you say it a
I'm an
lot.
overthinker. Deep's not even the right word. I'm an overthinker.
Yeah. And the word thought also belongs in there. And when you hear, well, I thought, of course you did, right? That's the thinker space. So the ultimate goal would be to experience yourself in real time, having access to that knowing. And that's how I live my life. Sometimes when I need to think about something because I'm doing technology, I get tired because I go unconscious almost like, oh, this is exhausting. When generally I have more energy than any 55-year-old could ever have in their life just by being me. Because I'm functioning from that space. And am I perfect? No. Am I always there? No, of course not. I'm human. And I know my defaults and I know my programming and I know all those things. And I still experience it. The key is to function from a place where your default settings are knowing and being very present in the now and experiencing from that space without utilizing the thinker quite so much until and unless you need it. And then as you realize that, my favorite space is to reprogram that thinker to be your greatest ally, to dive deep into the spaces of how that programming causes you to live your life from a certain perspective and change it so that now it's like your best ally, it's your best friend. It's seeing things and indicating with your reticular activating system the things that you're after, like, oh, right there. Oh, isn't that something that you wanted over there? Because it's coming straight from the soul's desire to that space. Reticular activating system, seeing the reflection and then embodying it all at once all day long. Oh.
I think when we all boil it down, you said this, but what we all really want is to live in the knowing while you are conscious. And I think a lot of us are just trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And we're all attracted to it. Like, I know me, like things like manifestation, law of attraction, the secret. It's not just me. Obviously, these are massive things that catch fire. I think it's kind of like people talk about cliches and stuff. Like, I think those things catch fire for a reason. I think there's a reason that The Matrix as a movie, it resonates with a lot of people, or these certain concepts end up like they're not the full truth, but there's something in there that I think we all kind of know there's something in
Oh,
there, right? And so
yes.
many of us are searching for that. We're like, how do I we mask it as saying it's all these other things, but it's that. It's knowing, living and knowing. Because when you know, just if I could just look at the basic things that I know, yeah, there's nothing else in there. Nothing. It's knowing. It's pure. It's clean. It's like, I know I have 2 daughters. There's nothing else there.
Yeah.
And it actually is a very peaceful word.
Mhm.
And everything else is noisy, and it leaves it open-ended, and it's like that is what we're all, I think a lot of us, I'll just speak for me, it's what I'm looking for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's what I've discovered, which is why I love what I'm doing, why I love sharing, and why I'm not teaching anything that everyone doesn't already know. I'm the catalyst to remembering. I get to be the human who says stuff what allows you to remember who you are. And yeah, I realize often I'll speak at a level that's way out there, but remember, I've had over 12 years of talking about this. So for me, the deep curiosity that I have in this space and how much more amazing it can get causes that to occur naturally, right? Diving deep into experiencing ourselves deeper, which there is for me that I know a whole formula around how you can access and lean into that. And the first step gets to be the acknowledgement that that is a possibility for you, right? There's no thing that you're going to do to have anything, because that's the doing space of the thinker, right? It's being comes from here and doing is indicated by here. So when you have a being space, you can couple the doing. That's the heart-mind coherence. You hear it in other, sectors, people talking about it. It works like a charm when you know what you're after. If you're thinking about what you're after and you try to apply the doing from that space, where do you think you're going to get? Why didn't that work for me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when you and I were discussing like what would be the best avenue, like for me, it's how could I best serve and be the reflection of the greatest aspect of humanity that ever lived for those who are in the space of wanting more out of their life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have anything you want. I say that tongue in cheek because everybody's like, oh, yeah, everything, not everything, Wendy. I mean, yeah, everything when it's a soul desire, not when it's a thought desire, not when you're comparing yourself to someone else and saying, well, I want that. How come I don't have that?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a soul desire. That's an ego brain thing, right? That's a thinker thing. If you ask yourself, do I really want that? If the answer is actually, yeah, that would light me up. I would feel so joyful and so amazing if I chose that path and then decided to walk it by combining the doing piece with it. Then that would be exactly where you get to go. And if the true answer is actually no, I see I really wouldn't want that. Then you can see it's just the thinker getting in the way, right? So start with what you know for sure. What do you know for sure? Because here's what happens. When you know something, you will stand on that soapbox without care about what other people say. You don't care. You're like, it's okay. You can think what you want to think. I know what I know, and that's all there is to it. Like, there's no judgment here. It's like, I know it, and I know it's all good. If you don't, it's okay. But your opinion about what I know, it doesn't matter to me. You can have that opinion all you want because you know it. But when you believe something, you start questioning it. And like you were saying, that's where doubt is baked right in. It's one of the places I started when I was working with entrepreneurs were beautiful humans doing really great things in the world to support other humans. And the process that they were doing, maybe they were doing some type of energy work or something in the world. They were doing something to help others, but it was somebody else's process. Sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't. So they really had to buy into whatever they thought they wanted in order to do it and receive money, because sometimes it works, sometimes it wouldn't. And my expression to them was, it's great that you learned a technique, but what about your own? What do you know? Like your own technology. What are you utilizing that's unique to you? That is, you came in here different, unique to you, individuated. What is your unique spark that you're coupling with that technique that makes it work 100% of the time? And they're like, well, I don't. We're told we can't do anything else. It has to be this way. I said, yes, and it's not working 100% of the time, which means there's some doubt in there. So if you have doubt because it's not working 100% of the time, what do you think your audience or your clients are feeling as well? They're feeling that same reflection. So of course it's not going to work. The second that we activate their unique technology and they add something to that process that's unique to them that they know, it works 100% of the time. 100%. Undeniable. Why? Because the uniqueness of them is baked right in, and that's something they know. And it doesn't matter what other people say because they know it works 100% of the time. Like, proof is in the pudding. So the question would be, what do you know? I'm going to keep coming back to that because start with the simple things. I know I have 5 fingers on this hand, or 4 fingers and a thumb. I have 4 fingers and a thumb on this hand. I know that. Feel what it feels like to know something for sure, right?
I was just going to say that, like, feel the difference in that and saying, I know I have 5 fingers and I know, or I believe that Christianity is the only way. Like when you start, like,
Well, you could say,
you can feel the difference, whatever that is. Sorry,
yeah, you
people
could
out there,
be,
if you're
use the hand thing. I know I have 4 fingers and a thumb. And if you try to say, well, I believe I have 6 fingers,
mm-hmm.
you can feel the difference. You can feel the difference. Oh, I have 7 fingers. You can't even bullshit yourself because you know I can say it with a straight face. But I know I have 4 fingers and a thumb on this hand and 4 fingers and a thumb on this hand. I know that. So you couldn't convince me that I have more. It wouldn't matter what you said.
I love this topic, which is why I was fascinated by you. And the more I speak with you and others like you, I just love it. I'm obsessed with it because I think maybe deep down there's a little bit of me that wants to break it down for people just like you, right? And help. And like, I'm exploring this topic and I just want to share it because I think there's others that are also obsessed with it. So I'm trying to figure it out. We're all trying to learn together. That's part of it. Another topic that has my fascination is the duality, and I'll try to reel this in because it does for me kind of make sense or not make sense. Um, Night and day, sweet and sour. Like you start looking at this world, and there's definitely a duality to it, right? There's it's just again, it's one of those things that is here, good and bad, and what you start to understand, I think, is you go, okay, well, you mentioned it earlier, like, well, you can't have that other thing. If it was all good, you wouldn't even know the word bad. Like you wouldn't even know what that is, and therefore you wouldn't even know what good is because it's just what it is. So you kind of need both. Actually, you do.
Mhm.
The contrast has to be there. I I was on a plane flight back. My wife and I went to Vegas, and I was listening to Sean Ryan, and he had this guy named Ryan Montgomery on, and this guy is like a hacker, and he specifically is like working with like hacking, like pedophiles and just all that kind of stuff. Right. The episode fucked me up. It really did.
Yeah.
It was one of those episodes where I just like couldn't shake it. I'm obviously still thinking about it. It's one of those things where you're like, come on, like what? Like you just and if you're a parent, you know, it's just like what do you mean that stuff happens? And I don't even want to go into details of what I had to like fast forward some of the parts. I was like, I just it does, and my wife is the same way. We're both just like, what in the actual like what is that?
Yeah.
That is what I would define as evil. I mean, if there's ever a thing I could define as like the farthest you can go away from the light, it's that.
Mhm.
But what it also did was maybe go, but you know what? Okay, if that exists, that
Mhm.
super gnarly, far, 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 far away darkness, then the opposite must be true too.
Yeah.
And why don't I or me or people, why don't we just at least like I don't understand that part. But why don't I try to be the tail end opposite and try to balance that shit out? Because that's crazy. That seems like something that I can do. Because being mad at it, right? It doesn't help. It almost gives it energy. It's like the
Mhm.
only thing you can fight it with is light, is with love. But I guess where I want to tie this all together is like because there's that duality, is it also true then you could know some evil shit and that's why people can like it just works out for them? Like I know there's a lot of people who feel, I'll just say for me, I'll stop speaking for people. It feels like there are some shitty people sometimes that get their way and you're like, damn, why are they getting what they want? And it's like they're not good people. How does all this work with people like that?
Yeah.
I struggle with that.
Yeah. Uh, I instantly smiled when you said the topic of duality because that was what catalysted me into being who I am.
Mm.
Literally the catalyst moment. So are you okay if I tell a little bit about my story
Yeah.
about how I got into,
Yes.
because it will really set the tone for this. So growing up, I was raised Catholic, went to a Catholic grade school, but didn't go to a Catholic high school. But I watched how my family, my immediate family, was submerged into the Catholic religion. And when I hit 20, I was like, something feels off. So when I moved out of the house to go to college or whatever, I thought I'm going to be a good girl. I'm going to go to church. I live on my own now. It's Sunday. I'm going to get dressed up and I'm going to go to church. And I sat in there and I was like, what is happening? I was actually listening to everything go. What? Like I was really dumbfounded at what I was listening to. I guess as a child, I didn't listen. I wanted to do anything but be there. And that's just to set the pace for where we're headed. That was back when I was 20. So I never really followed any religion. I just reduced myself to taking, like, I was like, okay, that's not what I'm not aligning or agreeing with that. That just doesn't feel right. Something just, it felt very super judgy for some reason, but I didn't have the language around it. I just knew, didn't feel right, not going back. That was it. That was my decision. So I've never really been a religious human to dive into any one, like, follow all the rules in one way or not. I just know that I'm a good human and I'm kind and I'm loving and I know my heart's in the right place. And that to me is, if you wanted to call it religion itself, because, I abide by my own experience of how much I love and how much that means to me. So fast forward when I've went to school multiple times and I end up getting married and having a child, and I have worked with and found myself in great interest in a lot of topics. Like, I was really good at everything I did all the time. Like, it didn't matter what it was. If I found an interest in it and it felt fun and exciting, I would want to like learn it and do it to the best of my ability, and I would be good at everything I tried. I just was. If I was interested and I found it fun. If I wasn't, I was like, oh, I didn't put any effort and it just didn't align. So I was testing out really unique forms of like healing methodologies, right? My mom introduced me a lot of really cool stuff and energy work in itself. And when I realized, I'm like, oh, there's something to this. There's something to this energy work stuff, right? So I kind of dove into it. And years, like, I tested all different kinds of things. In the meantime, I had regular jobs. I went to university multiple times. So I just did things that I really loved. I was just diving right in. I mean, I was a server for a really long time and did some really super fun things. Like, as a server, made lots of money, met a lot of people, right? Just lived my life, put some money in the bank. And as I'm doing all these alternative therapy things with humans, and I'm finding they're having massive results, like next level results, but I was kind of making things my own, because following somebody else's rules was really difficult, because I would like to say the don't tell me what to do kind of thing, from the perspective of, because I feel like there's a better way, or I feel there's a more aligned way that feels more authentic to me. So that's how I kind of lived my reality, tweaking the things I probably was told not to tweak, but did anyway. But the results were there. The proof was in the pudding for me. I'm like, dang, these people are. I was doing Dolores Cannon's quantum healing hypnosis therapy. That was one of the last somebody else's stuff I was doing years and years ago. It was like I got certified within 2 weeks of her passing. And people were coming and having sessions with me and having like miraculous things were happening. They were leaving they would come in and they wouldn't tell me everything. But I don't know if you know her work, Dolores Cannon's work. People bring you a list of questions that they
briefly, yeah. But
yeah, you want to do. And then you would get them so deep into hypnosis that you would ask the questions, their soul would answer the questions, basically. And then you would give them the recording. At least that's how I was interpreting it. Yeah.
I like that.
It was awesome, right? It was really awesome. And it was so great. I just found it very simple to do. It just was something really easy for me to do. But this is way back then. So right out of the gate, I find myself tweaking the process a little bit because I was following my own inner guidance. So I couldn't really call it the QHHT anymore because it wasn't. It was my own version. So I stopped doing it her way and was doing it my own way and not calling it the same thing. Well, when people would get up off my table from this hypnosis session I would bring them through, they would leave with like no pain when they would come in with full body pain, that chronic pain they'd have forever. They'd be my mother's best friend who didn't tell me that she had chronic pain for like over a decade, came and was just appeasing me and going, okay, Wendy, like I'll do your little process, right? And so I walk her through, and in deep state hypnosis, she sees this glowing light, which I ask her questions about, and she proceeds to tell me, ew, she's like, oh, it's my husband who passed a decade ago. And I was like, okay. Like, for somebody who came and she was totally skeptical, totally was just doing it to appease me and to please my mother because she was the best friend. Well, she had this she had this full on conversation with her deceased husband while on the table. And so I was like, okay, well, perhaps, you can invite any information that he gets to tell you, or why he's connecting with you, or what could happen with you. And she was like, yeah, he said it's okay if I, date other people. Right. And if my body heals. And I was like, that's amazing. Wonderful. Like, are you willing to accept that? Yes. She's like, oh yeah, I am. This is her in hypnosis. I bring her out of it and she sits up and she was like, what just happened? I'm like, I don't know. We just did a session. Like, that's how it goes, right? She's like, oh, okay. That was lovely. So we discussed it a little bit. She goes to leave and she's walking down the stairs to get to the door and she's walking weird. And I'm like, Rose, are you okay? She's like, she turns and looks at me. She goes, mm-hmm. I go, are you sure? I don't want you to leave here if you're not okay yet. She goes, no, I know you didn't know this, but I had chronic pain for the last 12 years and I don't have it anymore. And I was like, oh, holy shit. And it never came back. Never.
Wow.
And she dated somebody else and had a beautiful experience. So it was like, oh my God. It was wild, right? So that morphed. So there was a double-edged sword to these experiences because I was like geeked out of my tree about how awesome these people were having this wicked awesome experiences. And then they would leave and I would sit down at my kitchen table and be like, I'm fucking depressed. I hate my life. It's not fun. I don't feel like I have anything I want. I literally was the opposite of what I was seeing happen. And I was over it. I mean, I'm looking around going, you know what? To the regular everyday human, my life looks perfect. It looks amazing. Everything looks amazing. I'm looking outside. The sky is blue. The sun's shining. It's warm. I love it. It's like the view is beautiful, but my experience of it sucks. And I could feel that like deep, almost like a depressive state where I could flip in and out of anxiety and depression because I was just not feeling happy about anything. So one day I had had it. I'm like, this is it. Like, I'm freaking over this feeling. Like, what is happening here? It was it was almost like the apex of a moment where I made a massive, like, I am done. I'm done with the shitty feeling life that I'm going through. I'm done with all of this. And I was crying. And I was like, ugly, snotty, crying, like that kind of thing with myself. And so I got up and I could feel this like rush of energy. And I'm like, well, like I could feel all this. I walked into the bathroom and I'm staring at myself in the face. And I had this like, listen, like I'm talking to you, like looking at myself in the mirror. What the hell is happening here? I hate it here. Listen. And then I'm like, oh, this is where I got really ornery. If asking it is given is true, fucking prove it. If there's angels and guides and God and this and that and, my dead relatives and all these things, if that's actually true, then asking it is given. Here's me asking, oh, I'm sorry, you can't understand and I'm asking because I've asked a million fucking times that I want something and I don't seem to have it. Here's me asking, okay? I'm asking, hello, those of you that are somewhere that I can't see with my eyes. Drop my fucking gift on me now so that I can experience my life with joy or pluck me off this godforsaken hurling stone in the multiverse because I fucking hate it here. I want to be happy. And that's what I feel like life should be. And that's what I want. And I want it now. And then as I'm like crying and exhausted, I'm like, what am I going to do? You know what? I used to meditate in the bathtub. I'm like, I'm taking myself in the tub and I'm going to take myself through this process. And that's exactly what I did. And I was told at the time, do not do this work on yourself. This is before self-hypnosis came out, really, that I found. Don't do this process on yourself, blah, blah, blah. It was really did not care. Hopped in the tub, do this experience. First thing that you do in a session usually is take someone to their happy place. So they have a higher frequency and nice vibration. So I do that with myself. So here I'm in the tub. I'm like, taking myself to a happy place. My happy place is the beach. So I'm like, I'm on the beach, right? I run my hand through the sand and the sand turns into a portal. In my mind, this is in my space. Turns into a portal. I get sucked into the portal, land into this cement box. Oh, that's not a fucking happy place. Damp, cold, dark. I'm sorry. Not sure where I'm at, but okay. And then I heard my own self say, well, you asked for proof and support. So we sent a master kind of thing. And I had asked for somebody who I could teach, who could ask for somebody who could teach me something, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm still ignorant. I'm still me. I'm still being blasphemous. I'm like, fucking, I like hate them. I'm in this now. I'm in this freaking cement box, right? I'm all like bitterman. And I see out of the corner of my eye someone sitting like right over here, back here, but out of my peripheral, right? And my eyes are closed. I'm deep in submerged. I'm so deep in like meditation, hypnosis, self-hypnosis, whatever. And then I hear myself asking myself, it's almost like my ego or my witness asking myself, hey, you asked for a master. There's someone sitting over there. Are you going to look? Like, what are you afraid? And of course, my ornery self, I'm like, no, I'm not afraid. And so I turned my head to look. I'm like this. And up stands my version of what I would call God. Same picture on my grandma's wall at her house. Gets up, robe, sash, the whole 9 years, starts walking towards me. And I'm like, it shut my ass up so fast. I'm like, oh, okay, that's master. Right? I didn't expect that at all. Being not a religious person, I'm not like following any one thing. I'm not like super devoted to something. He walks around and doesn't say anything. He just opens up his arms to give me a hug. And of course, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm a hugger. I can hug. So I remember wrapping my arms around him. He's so tall, like it felt like he was 7 feet. Something. My face is up against his like chest, and I was like, I just stopped to be peaceful for that moment, and it felt like no moment because all of a sudden it was like, whoop, disappears inside of me, and I'm still ignorant, mind you. I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's it? Where'd you go? What the hell? Right? That's like I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm still in my thinker thinking, oh, this is gonna be some grand experience. Like, oh my god, it's God, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Like it disappeared. And then I heard a voice that wasn't mine. It was like, okay, Wendy, your first task is to love with my heart. And it felt like it came from within me. And I was like, all right. Like I literally heard it, but I didn't know it. I was like, all right, whatever. So then I completed the session on with myself and I went on to experience all kinds of things that gifted me knowings. But then I was done, took myself out of the tub, and did exactly what every client that ever said had a wild ass experience with me said. Did that really happen? That just happened? So, I've had this moment of like, I need to figure out what just happened. Like, what the hell just happened? Because I don't know what happened and I don't know what that was, right? So I'm downstairs looking at all these books in the dark. I'm sitting on a coffee table. My husband comes down. He's like staring at me and I started to get irritated. I'm still ornery, right? Even after that experience, I'm still miserable. And he's looking at me and staring at me. I'm getting frustrated. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he looked at me and he leaned forward. He's like, what are you doing? Like, you fucking weirdo. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, fine. If I'm going to get judged, this is it, because I'm going to tell him because I don't know what else to do. And I don't know what just happened. And I'm hunting for it. And now I'm downstairs in the dark looking through books and I don't even know how I'm seeing them. So I proceed to tell him, like, hey, when I do meditation and those hypnosis sessions, because I had shared like the amazing things that and he's like, yeah. I go, well, I did it to myself and I saw God and I started to cry like hard. And up until then, I didn't have really any emotion. I kept the same ornery little like bitchy ass self that I was being, really frustrated and irritated and angry. But as soon as I said that out loud, I realized it had happened because I was telling him, and he's very grounded, very present. And I'm bawling, and he looked at me, and I thought his response was going to be different. Like he's going to judge me. He was going to say something like I was going to get frustrated or angry by. And he goes, what the hell's the matter with you? He goes, why are you crying? Haven't you ever heard of somebody seeing God before? And I was like, what? I was like appalled. So fast forward, I was kind of like waiting for something trying to figure it out. I'm like, what happens? Like, Jordan, if I hug you, if my task is to love you with God's heart, if I hug you, do I have to think about loving you with his heart versus loving with mine? Like, will you know the difference? Like, do I have to like think about it first or tell you, right? If I'm going to love you with God's heart, like, do I have to do that? If I hug you, will you know the difference? I literally was in that space. And then one day, it was 8 months later, still was like really fucked up in my head about it. I just didn't know. So it was all about manifestation and all about all this law of attraction stuff. I was into all of those things, like affirmations, you name it. I was into all that stuff before. But none of that stuff mattered because I was really messed up by the fact that this is what my task was. I don't understand it, right? Nothing has changed. Nothing was different. And so one day I watched my husband create an opportunity to make a lot of money. All you had to do is drive to Toronto, learn this process, drive back, $80K, something like that. I'm going to make up the number. Oh, I'm like, whoa. I watched him create it because that's what he desired. I watched the offer come in. And then I watched him choose it. And then the day he was supposed to go, he's like, oh, you know what? It's raining. I don't think I'm going to go. What? So, of course, they did exactly what I thought. They took the opportunity away. And that was gone. And I was like, I'm like livid beyond belief. I'm so angry. I can't even believe it. So I take myself in the tub and I'm like crying and I'm frustrated. I'm like, I don't understand this guy. Like, what is he being? And I found myself asking questions to this energy in my hand. I was like trying to make it like, what is he being? Like I was holding him here. Like, what is he being? Right? That kind of thing. I'm like, oh, he's being somebody who creates opportunities and doesn't take them. I'm like, am I that? Am I? No, I'm actually not that at all. In fact, I create opportunities and take them. That's the most fun part about my life. What am I going to do with this? And then I was like, oh, here's where I use it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it with God's heart. And so I didn't know, without even realizing, I just took that ball of energy. I held it in front of my body. My whole body breathed. It was like visceral feeling throughout my body, like almost like a shock in the tub. I was like, and I felt all of a sudden, suddenly completely different. I'm like, what just happened? What the hell just happened? And I went back to think about what I was upset about and it was gone completely. I'm like, oh my God. And so I thought, I'm going to reverse engineer that and think about something else that irritates me, right? So I went through the process again. I fast forward to this space of understanding, going, what actually happened was the task was to love with God's heart, meaning metaphorically be that. Remove the separation. So that whole experience was, feels like to me, separated out into life experiences in order to slap back together to realize that there's no separation between anything. But this is both sides of the coin. There's no separation to a coin. You still have two sides, but it's the same coin. So that's how both sides exist. Good side, bad side. What side are you looking at? Right? That's how you know where you're at. That's like your navigation point. So you listening to that stuff on the plane, you're like, oh, yeah. I'm looking at the opposite side, but I also know the other side exists too, just because I'm not looking at it. I think I'm going to look at the other side. It's a view. It's a navigation point, right? Now, where it gets really interesting is knowing that there's no separation between you and your reality. All things are whole. Both sides exist in the law of duality in the third dimension, because that's what this physicality is all about, to understand it, to have a conscious human experience in the duality of the third dimensional experience. So you can know both sides exist, but when you decide one thing, one side, you must have that experience. Because you're not an allowance of the other experience to occur. You're facing and trying to fight with and make an opinion about that one side. Right? So you're going to have that experience in whatever it is you're staring straight in the face and trying to change what you're staring, but it's not actually changing. And you're like, why? Why is it not changing? Right? So my realization that day was, I'm not loving with God's heart or mine. It is one heart. No separation. So the even thought of being separate from anything got removed from me on my request. I just didn't know what I was asking for. So suddenly I'm like, okay, all things exist. And now that came in what I know versus what I believe. Right. So look at when I went to church when I was 20 and I thought I was being a big girl, going all by myself, getting dressed up and going. What I didn't understand was that when I got there, I would know that something was off for me. Because it's unique to everyone. The human technology is unique to everyone. So the gift became understanding that duality exists no matter what. And it's not just one way. It's not just all bad. And it's not just all good. It's whatever you decide it is based on your knowing, not your beliefs. Because the beliefs live here and the knowing lives here. So that we're having a human experience and it's unique and individual to you. You get to decide, okay, you know what? I'm aiming at that. I'm going to enjoy my life side and have abundance and be happy and full of unconditional love and love humans and experience that side. You can't fight the other side and think you can experience something different, right? If you're facing the dark side of the coin and fighting it, trying to change it, you're going to still see the dark side of the coin until you know that both sides exist and your decision makes the experience different.
Why is that so hard? Because everybody listening to this right now would say, I choose the other side. I choose it right now. Why is it so damn hard?
Because choosing is not deciding. When you have choices, we think, oh yeah, this is awesome. We have choices. But feel into that word, choice. It's very light. It's very it's very waffly. It can go away. Like that choice can disappear. So when you have a bunch of choices, we're sitting in choice adjacents also, because we can make this choice, but then we're like, oh, maybe I should have made that choice. That's where we start second guessing. Because we're making choices based on a belief. They fit together in the same category. But when you decide something, feel the energy of decision. I decide I'm going to do something. That means no matter what that's happening, I'm deciding to do it. If you're going to decide to cross the street, you're not just choosing. You're going to stand on the edge going, well, I think I'm going to choose to cross the street. Or maybe I'll choose to walk around. Choices, right? You're choosing.
And many of us wait for choices to be made for us, right? We avoid decision, actually.
See how waffly it is? You're choosing. You're like, well, I'm going to choose this. There's no action in choosing. You could choose that and wait for something to occur, which means it's not actually happening. You're just like
a lot.
Choosing, but nothing really moves. But when you decide something, it's interesting because then that's where like science would come in and be, okay, you've decided this, that's the path. Everything formulates now to support that decision. Does it mean it's going to be perfect? No. Does it mean you might make mistakes? Yeah. And that's the greatest thing ever because on your decision, you're like, I'm willing to make a mistake and correct myself. Going, oh gosh, I decided that, but that didn't work, so I won't do that again. But I'll keep going because I'm not going to choose that part. I'm deciding on this, and you keep going. You gain then knowledge and experience that further supports the knowing. Choosing is waffly. Deciding is very definitive. It's then where you activate the heart-mind coherence because this is the action taker. Right?
What's the action taker?
The thinker, the ego part of what you're going to do. The doer comes from the thinking aspect. The being comes from here. So, okay, I'm going to decide to be this. And then when you activate the doing part, you're like, okay, I'm going to be this and I'm going to do this. And it comes together and whoosh, off you go. Right? It has a scientific nature of coming together and formulating on the pathway. When you stand in the waffle spot of like, well, I'm going to choose this or I'm going to choose that, there isn't a lot of action there because there's no actual decision. There's like, well, I'm going to choose to drink my coffee. I still have to decide to pick up the cup. Do you see the difference? I'm going to choose to drink the coffee. Oh, yeah, I got to decide to pick up the cup first. They go together. It's the simplest of things, but the allowance, Jordan, is when you go, okay, fine, I get it. There's a lot to ingest. If I boiled it down, what do I know and what am I deciding? And where am I letting myself waffle around in choice zone? Like, choices are great. There's plethora of choices. We can have a bunch of choices. That's wonderful. Make a fucking decision and do something with it. Do something with one of those choices. Right? Get clean with yourself and go, okay, you know what? It's okay if I make a mistake. Because my heart's in the right place. I know who I am. I know that I'm going, no matter what happens, all the intentionality of who I am baked right into this decision. So what choice feels more aligned to what I want? Then the decision is, yeah, you know what? That choice is more aligned. I'm going to decide to do that. Right? These things happen. I'm stretching out the languaging of it so that the logical mind can have a buy-in. Right?
I love it, Wendy.
With the science of buy-in, it leaves your creative right brain side to create and be exploratory and creative and big in your world. But you get to have the buy-in first. So sometimes when we believe something, that's why it sits. Right? Because there's no buy-in. We're just like, hopefully that's true. I want that to be true. But you don't know that it is, right? So there's no actual buy-in. The left brain, the analytical brain, must have a buy-in. But if it's buying it from your brain also, there's no actual buy-in there because it's still in belief zone. It's still in choice zone. Still in you programmed it zone, right? But when it comes from here, you feel the alignment. You feel like, okay, that best matches what my big vision is, what I want to experience. And when I say big vision, listen, anything you decide that you want is a big vision. Could be for next week. You know what? I'm going to go on vacation next week. You know, that's a choice. The decision is, okay, you know what? I'm actually going to pick up the phone. I'm going to call my travel agent, and that's happening. That's a decision. Oh, I make that decision. I come back around and I'm like, oh, I forgot it was my mom's birthday. Okay. Mistake. Oops. Guess I'll have to make it up to her. The decision was still made. I don't have the waffly like, oh, well, then I'm not going to choose to do that. It's already been done. You're already on the pathway. Next choices would be make it up to my mom. Take her out for dinner now. Take her out after I get back again. You see how it fits in? So if you want acceleration into what you want, the deeper question is, what do you want? Whoops. What do you want? And where are you where's the decision in that? What are you deciding about what you want? And then coupling it with an action. Just landing.
Yeah, it is. I'm you have me all self-conscious about saying the word thinking, even though I know you're not doing that intentionally, but I'm always like, but I am, whatever. I'm thinking about how just the difference in the feeling of when you say, for example, I believe you, right? When you tell someone, I believe you, as opposed to saying like, I know you. One of them is saying like, when you say I know you, it's almost void of like, hey, you don't have to explain yourself. I know who you are. It's a totally different feeling when you say to someone,
Uh-huh.
I was trying to like replace the word belief for know and how many things we use. I was listening and I'm so annoyed that I can't remember it right now, but I was listening to a podcast last night and it was talking about belief. And in that context, it was like super normal. Everyone says it. And I was like, what if you switch that to knowing and like how that's, we're totally not used to hearing it that way,
Yeah.
but it does feel different.
It's powerful. Because what that does is activate the part of you that goes, oh, I actually do know something.
Mm-hmm.
Buy-in. That's the buy-in. I do know something. Ooh, I know what it feels like now. So what else do I want? Then you can say, well, you know what? I've been saying that I want this all along, but do I actually want it? Let me get a good gut check on this. Do I actually want this? Right? You might be like, oh, I actually don't. Or, yeah, hell yeah, I do. I just hadn't decided yet. I was still in choice mode.
It's also probably why so many of us, we mistake we mistake the things not working, like manifestation. You could interchange it with different words, but most of us don't even know what we want. or you think you want something, but you don't. And so that is, yeah, it's like it's just interesting because I'm always like, oh, but sometimes you think you want this and you don't get that, but it ends up like those stories are so dominant in our just day-to-day lives. You're like, oh, I thought I wanted that, and then this happened, and that's really what I needed. And so it's funny, like you think you want that, and so you, even if you made the choice, you're like, well, it didn't work, I didn't get what I wanted. But it's like, well, but you did. Like I can't think of a time when I'm like looking back on it where it didn't really work out in the way, in what was best for me.
Yeah.
It almost always has. And I could chalk up so many, try not to make this about me, but I feel like I'm the guinea pig for the audience, right? Like this is my journey. I'm sharing my journey. And like,
Yeah.
there's so many times where I made a choice and it's like, well, I didn't get what I wanted, but then I was like, but I did. It did give me that skill set that I needed to get to here. Like sometimes we think we want something and it's like, you're not ready for that, or you're not able to, even if you got that, you would lose that. You replace that with money or so many other things, that job, the family, any of that. It's like, well, we skip that part, a lot of us.
Yeah.
And we don't realize it.
We have a skin suit that carries the nervous system that's going to respond with you. And there's certain things that if you ask yourself, okay, well, I really want this. When you're going into your deep knowing, you'll feel your nervous system kick up like, ah, like in sometimes terror of that very thing. Like, do you really want that? Like all these things come up because your nervous system gets to be calibrated as you go so that it's normal to get the things that you want with great intention, decision, and action in a beautifully aligned way. It's super simple. It could be something practiced first thing in the morning, meaning if you want to see where you're going to get what you want, if you want your morning habits to be really potent, you can think about that and have choices like, okay, I can do all these things. Until you make a decision as to what you're going to wake up doing, you'll sit and you'll wake up another day and not do it, another day, not do it, another day, not do it. But the instructions are decide, get up, like set the alarm, get up and decide what it is you're going to do, right? You're going to brush your teeth with oregano oil first thing in the morning so that you like begin a process of detoxing. What is it you're deciding to do? What is it you want? I mean, there's a whole thing around this. So why do you want it? What experience is going to gift you?
Intention is like, that's why they talk about it. You hear that word so much in this. Attention is another word for almost decision, right? What do you do? Like what is it that you really want?
And the intention is let's dive into that piece of it. You can see what your intention was after the fact.
Yeah, and intention has it has action kind of tied to it, like to me. Whereas a want is just like in the air. It's like, well, I want it. Intention is like it's like if want and decision had a baby, it would be intention. You know, it's kind of how it feels.
I would say, the word want has such a bad rap too. So I always used desire because it's a soul's desire based on something that you find interesting, fun, and exciting. Right?
like
Following your interest, fun, and decide that's a desire thing because desire gets a bad rap too because people are like, oh yeah, I desire. They equate it to something maybe more negative, perhaps. But a desire is a true soul's desire. That is what can catalyst your next moves. Right? So intention is good when you can understand yourself in intention because after the fact, you can see what your intention was. So if you say, okay, I'm going to start a detox. I'm going to actually wake up in the morning And what I want to do is incorporate like oregano oil on my toothbrush and brush my teeth with that. And when the next day comes and you don't do that, you can see that your intention was not to do it because it didn't occur, right? So when you begin to understand that intention, you see your intentions in action. That's the knowing piece. So I'm just circling back and, reiterating that knowing. It's more of a knowing. I know that I'm going to decide to do that. The intention part is baked right in, because the next day when you do it, you can see your intention. It was to do it. Because we fool ourselves all the time, Jordan. We bullshit ourselves all day long. Well, I want that. I want this. I want to do that. You tell people stuff mostly we bullshit ourselves. And this is the space where that's the most detrimental thing you can do. You get to know something. And if there was anything that would change your life, it would be that. Because it's undeniable when you know something. You'll stand on that soapbox forever and say what you know, despite what other people think, right? Just like with my work, it's very out there and it's very it seems unnatural, but it's not. Because we're so full of programming that it's hard to see. And it's hard to know it unless you experience it. So we get to start somewhere. And I know it. So I will stand there and say what I know because I know it. And I don't care what people say because I know. And I have real life experiences to back up my own knowing. And so it doesn't matter what other people say because it just doesn't. Right?
I think this is a good segue into what you specifically do. The way we met and for everyone here is pretty special. I'd been thinking about and praying about just a lot of things in my life. And this conversation is so good for me in general too, because again, I'm sitting around thinking like, I want to do this podcast full time. I want to do the podcast full time, but I also do other things on the side and I consult on certain things. And, but in a way it's because I'm scared in a way. And I don't know that it will work out if I make the decision to go full time on this, because I can't, in my head, I can't make the connection. Like, where is the money going to come from? That seems, and then you start talking about my family. That seems irresponsible to do that. And I almost need all these other things, and I'm waiting for this moment where I can pay off my bills and my debt, and then I can say, okay, now I can. But what you end up doing just in that decision, well, you're not making a decision, right? And so you're leaving it. Well, you are making a decision, and it's to not make a decision. Let's say that, and it does leave it kind of airy fairy, and I feel that, and it's almost like I'm waiting for someone to force me into a decision. Like either the consulting like rips it away from me, right? Or I don't know. And it's how do you think that what I'm scared about, the fear that I have in that, is it like like where's the line where it is irresponsible though to make decisions, right? Where you're like, hey, that's not a I think people will confuse that, and I want to make sure we touch on this because there is a level, right, where, or maybe not. I would love to hear your opinion on it. Where is it where is it irresponsible, right? Or you're like, hey, I'm going to decide to do this full time, even though I don't know where the money's going to come from, or how, or are you saying that if you really did know and you really did make that decision, it will, the universe has to align in that way and provide for it. Do you get what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, 100%. Oftentimes, when you think you understand, see the word think in there, you understand what decision means. You're like, well, if I just decide to do that, it will happen. And what we just talked about bullshitting yourself is in there. Listen, I'm going to say with all the kindness in the world, this is where delusion lives. Because you cannot bullshit your knowing. You must become so present with yourself and ask those deep, hard questions of yourself and be really, really honest, radically honest with yourself. Because you can have fears, they just don't get to run your life, right? Fears, they come from programming of what ifs and what if it doesn't work, whatever. But there are human conditions that will indicate what you will know. You must activate that part of yourself where you know first, because then you can't bullshit yourself with like, I know that's not actually going to happen. I know it's not going to happen is a truth too. So when you want something for whatever reasons your soul's desiring, then you get to get really clean with what might be in the way. What bullshit programming is running that's preventing me from actually experiencing this? And then you get to move through, because I use this exercise. I mentor some really high-performing musicians, and we went through this last night. Full on, if you want to see if you have a program in the way of what you want when you finally decide, imagine you have a tennis ball in your hand. And the tennis ball is like, okay, I'm holding in my heart space what I want. I know I want this. And I'm going to throw this tennis ball, and I'm going to watch the tennis ball go, right? I'm going to throw it. Does the tennis ball keep going forever and ever, or does it hit a wall and bounce back at you and knock you in between your eyes, right? Throw it, it goes bink. When it keeps going, the pathway's clear.
So you're saying what you without anyone saying that, what did you visualize? Like if I visualized it when I threw it and it just kept going,
Yeah.
that's a good sign for you that is that what you're saying? That it's clear? Or did you visualize it falling and bouncing back? Or
You want to know, like, did you throw it and it kept going? That means the pathway is open. If you threw it and it hit a wall, there's something in the way.
mine went like this, which I would perceive as like, yeah, bouncing down, not maybe trickling, rolling away, but not, it didn't go infinite like a shooting star.
Something slowed it down, right? So what did it do? Something slowed it down. It kind of fell short. Or have you like, that's interesting. Right? So you get to let yourself experience. Oh, we took something like completely not related, like a tennis ball in your hand, and throwing it energetically to see, will it keep going? Is the pathway clear? Right? If not, you got to have something in your heart that you're desiring to do first. Like, okay, well, should I keep consulting? And you throw it, it is like a wall in the way. Oh, that's interesting. Something in the
I'm
way
gonna
of
be honest
that.
with you, and if I throw that ball, the consulting one, it goes so far, Wendy, it just
Right.
it's gone.
You know what
It's
that
gone.
says? Yeah, you can feel it.
Oh yeah.
The consulting part. So what that means is that if you were to choose that pathway, it would be clear. Pathway's clear. Meaning nothing's in your mind in the way. No programs in the way of that actually occurring. Now, just because it's not something that you actually want does not mean the pathway can't be clear. It means that if you did decide it, it would be wide open for you. Now, if you hold in your hand the tennis ball and think about what you want with your show, what you want with your channel, and throw the ball, what happens?
I
ahead.
can just tell you right now, instantly, I feel a little doubt. I do.
You throw it, and what happens?
It goes, but it does. It doesn't shoot off. Like it didn't shoot off like the consulting feeling, which makes me sad because I'm like, damn, I want it so, but then I'm like, what?
Yeah, this is where that's the simplest thing you can do to test yourself. Everything is available to you. That something is in the way is programming. Programming. Guess what? That can be changed. It's programming. It only knows what you taught it, which means you can teach it something different. It's like AI. My favorite topic. Your ego is like AI. Oh, it's not shooting out the answers that I want. I'm going to change the way it talks to me. I'm going to change the input. I'm going to change the parameters that I give it. I'm going to go deep with it. Change it. What happens? spits out something new, something different. Oh, that worked. I like that. Or no, not quite. I'm going to shift it again. Programming. We bought programming. I say bought. It's like shopping. And oh yeah, I'm not good enough. Throw that in the basket. Right? My experience is, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve that. Whatever. Those programming. It's all of it programming. When you decide something, here's where I'm going to circle this back around. When you decide something, it must be true. Your reality must show it to you. Meaning you can decide something shitty and have a shitty experience because you decided that that was true for you.
So, for example, if someone said to me, like, God, you're a bad sleeper, huh? And I go, yeah, I am.
Done.
That's boom, code starts writing.
Done. Exactly.
Or if I wrote it a while ago, it's just still running in the background.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly it. Exactly. Now imagine how many years on this planet, how many bullshit programs you bought throughout your life. Of course, there's going to be stuff in the way, but that doesn't mean it can't be changed. As easily as you bought it, we can unhook that. We can change it. We can edit it. We can delete it. That's all available too, right? Because here's what I love this so much, Jordan, because you when you're saying, okay, well, if everyone's skeptical, like how do you talk about this so that you can understand it? Here's the thing. If you bought the programming because you decided that someone else, you're agreeing with someone and that becomes your programming, could the opposite not be true also?
Of course.
Yeah, because we're living in duality all the time. You see? It's unconsciously decided by aligning with somebody else's words. Now, if you want to go really deep with it, if what we're seeing is what we're being and what we're being is what we're seeing, what you really did was align with yourself. Someone else said it, but it's a reflection of you. And you're like, yep, confirmation, program running, done. Just like if someone were to say to you, you know what, you're the best soccer player that ever lived. I can't believe that you didn't keep going. It's unfortunate you stopped.
Yeah, it
Right?
is unfortunate.
Your decision, your agreeing in alignment with that would literally write, yeah. Because if you thought, you know what, I'm actually going to do something else. Like those are the moments that create the programming that we live. And it's all changeable, which is why I'm so certain that you can have everything you want, provided you're not bullshitting yourself in delusion. Because some people take that literally and go, well, I want $1 billion. I'm like, okay, do you know that you could create $1 billion for yourself? And they'd be like, well, you said if I decided, I'm like, yes, but you can't bullshit yourself. You have to know.
You have to know.
You
Yeah, you
have
have to
to.
know that you can build $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
No, that
Do
makes
I
sense to
know
me.
it? Yes. Now, just because I know that I could doesn't mean I want it.
You can absolutely decide without knowing too, for sure.
Right? So this concept is as simple as you allow it to be. And if one is frustrated, like myself, like how ornery was I to be in the position where I was like yelling at myself, not even knowing what I was doing. Hence the reflection in a literal mirror. Asking the energies that I can't see with my eyeballs. Ask and it is given. If that's true, drop my gift on me. What happened? Boom. I'm like, here you go. Here's the keys to the multiverse, Wendy. Have fun. And I'm like, what the hell do I do with this? Because all of a sudden, I instantly knew a lot. Far more than my puny little brain could figure out in the moment. Now, over time, it's unraveled itself where I'm like, whoa, that's so cool. Those are my favorite experiences. Because I'm having it after the fact. I was never taught it. I never read the book. I didn't learn it in school. And all of a sudden I'm having the experience and I go back and I'm like, I then maybe I read a book or someone says it to me. I'm like, oh, I had that experience. And that's proof in the pudding because I already knew it. So I didn't have to go, did I read that somewhere and then repeat it? Because that wouldn't be actually true. So that would be me learning it first and then pretending that I knew it. I'd be like, okay, I learned it. Now I'm going to pretend I know it. But that's not actually true for me. I will have an experience first and be like elated, dumbfounded, like, whoa, that's like miraculous. That's so cool. That's magical. And then I'll learn about it and go, oh my gosh, that's actually proof that what I experienced was real. And I didn't learn it first, which means I'm not crazy.
Mm.
And I'm not lying to myself. I actually do know this. And it works every time. Proof in my pudding. So for everyone watching, the simplicity begins with you being honest with yourself. What do you truly want? What is your soul's desire? It is the hardest thing, and it's the easiest thing at the same time. Both sides of that coin exist. Which side are you going to allow yourself to test for yourself? What side are you telling yourself? That's too hard. I don't know what I want because I want so many things. That's a lie. You can want a lot of things, but not too many to make a decision. That's programming. And confusion and fear. Fear of, well, what if I choose that and it should have been that thing over there? What if I choose this and it was that thing I should have chosen?
What if you can't ever choose wrong?
What if everything you ever chose was never wrong? And what do we know about choosing?
It's not a decision.
There you go. See? So you can have a lot of
I'm
choices.
learning.
Yeah, that's why there's so much struggle. And well, I chose this. What if I should have chose that? And then we try to we're like, oh, and well, I guess if everything I ever chose is never wrong, then you didn't make a bad choice. But you still haven't decided because you're still in the thinker mode of like, choose. I should have chosen. Maybe I would have chosen. What would have happened if I chose it? Right? Total thinker.
I absolutely love, there's like a resonance that I have with, and that's the best word I can come up with for this topic. And it's not new. I've been obsessed with it for a long time, and I think many of us are. It is, to me, the rule. It's the thing. It's when people say the keys to the universe, it's this. It's it's knowing this, right? And a lot of people aren't going to be ready to hear it, or they just can't get past, and I get that. But for me, I'll tell you right now, there is something in me where I know this was my time to like really get it this time, to know it this time. I think maybe in prior lives I've tried, or I've done a lot of thinking, and if this conversation never graced the internet ever, no one ever saw it, it's just you and I'm obsessed with this topic. I want to talk about it all the time. I love it. I mean, and it's just such a cool, because I've had also those little moments like you talked about that are so special that you can't tell people, but I can, and I have, but you don't know what it feels. They don't know. You have to know it. And it is so special when they happen. And it's so funny that we're all so trained and programmed, as you would say, to kind of like, shrug those moments off. Like, that was probably a coincidence, or that was, you disarm. And it's like, really, when you get to this place where it's pure, like you said, knowing, it's special. And there are special moments that happen that are so fun. I mean, if you talk about a moment that lights you up, it's those little times where I'm speaking to my guides, right? Or like, and I ask for something and then it happens and you're like, whoa, it's just like such a cool, it's like this, it shoots through you. You just feel it. And
Yeah.
the journey towards knowing is really fun, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you want to ask? This is like really out there and really cool and really something that's deeply curious. But it feels like there's just so much in that, and it, you know what I mean, and what we just discussed. But what would be really fun to know right now?
What would be really fun to know?
Have I stumped the Siggy?
I mean, for me, it's what we're talking about, though, and I know that's a kind of a cop outy, but I really do. This is because once this is the thing that if you know it, then anything else is, it's not, it's all, the door's open.
Does
So
it feel
to me,
simple?
it does.
Have we distilled to a simplicity?
I think we did a great job. I mean, for me personally, I think I'm a slow learner, and so for me to have some things move in the right direction, I think is here's what I will, and maybe it is it's definitely my programming, right? That maybe doesn't allow this to be like that. But also at the same time, I know we did some work yesterday where I do feel like there's a piece of me for once in my life where I go, well, why does it have to wait? Why do I have to make this long thing? Why can't I just know it and it's done
Do you
and
see
I
what
know
I'm
it?
holding up here?
3.
That's how many times you said the word think.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
I'm just, do you know, that is a real thing for you that you get to be highly conscious of.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you consider your reality, you go right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you seek all of your information. That's where you seek all of your data. That's where you're looking for alignment here. It exists here. That's why this topic is so fun for you, because it's the one thing that'll actually pull you from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is limited. This is not.
I just want to stack my knowings. So when you ask like the question, it's hard for me to answer because I feel like there's a lot. I just want to continue to know. I just want to know, no. I mean, I want to change this obsession I have of thinking, right, and into knowings. And I want for me, the game is change as many of those as possible into knowings. And that sounds like fun to me. I want to know that at the end of all this, it was like all the bullshit I went through, and I think a lot of viewers out there feel the same way. It's like the journey. You want to know that it was all for something,
Yeah.
and you want to know. I actually heard on a podcast yesterday too that like the journey doesn't kill you. The journey's the fun. And you hear that it's cliche. It's like the building up to it is actually it's everything, because when you get there, whatever there is for you, um, that's when it gets actually for a lot of people scary. And I think that just depends on the work you did inside. Like uh, that's why I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm so like I want to know. This is the knowing that I am passionate about, because then it's never a destination. It's just like let me just help as long as I can, as for as long and enjoy the ride, because
Yeah.
someday it is going to be over. Someday this place that I'm standing, this podcast, all of it will disappear. It really will.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yep.
Your graves, everything we all think we care about, give it enough lifetimes and generations, it's gone. It's just not here anymore. And so it really is about just in the moment, like knowing that you are making that impact and knowing that you have this because I think about it like this, Wendy. If we are coming back so many times and we're all trying to relive our lives and we're having this reincarnation moment where you're put, maybe it's somewhere you chose, regardless, doesn't matter, because what you are doing is kind of starting fresh. The amnesia kicks in and you gotta, depending on, I guess, who you are and how quickly what you did in the past life or something, maybe you realize it quicker, but you're back into the game kind of. And it's like, I want to know sooner than later, like, before a car hits me and it's game on, I got to restart. Like I want to do some cool shit. I don't want to wait anymore. I'm 33. I want all the things that are positive for my family, my girls, and like it'll make me emotional because I care about it a lot. Um, I'm ready to go. That's how I feel. Ready to go.
Yeah. And the moments and your emotions allow that to be the decision.
Yeah. So,
What I wanted to add, I just want to add one thing to what you said. Everyone thinks they want to get there, wherever that may be for everyone. And the truth is, you move your own goal, you move your own marker every time, because then you're getting closer and go, oh, that's not the end. I don't want that. There's so much more, because that there that you've chosen is based on the limitations of the now. And as you remove the limitations, the there seems really damn close because it happens very quickly, right? In my world, I call it accelerate. I literally teach the technology, how to know that you have the technology, and then how to access it, and how to use it to identify the limiting program, and then what your unique way of changing your own programming looks like for you. And you don't stop until you know, proof in the pudding, litmus shift. That's how it goes, because that's the availability you have. So It never ends in that. The second that you see a limitation, you discover it for yourself, you remove it, you change it. And thereby where you once chose a there, it becomes like, oh wow, that was where that's not, there's no real distance to that anymore. It's like right here now. So there's always that distance. So when you say you want to just keep going as long as you can, yeah, it does get greater and greater. Your then desire gets bigger, more expanded, more exciting. So the destination never really does end, and the journey becomes the most fun you could ever have. Because the only thing in the way is you and your programming, right? And so as you are in control of that, really it's the only thing that you have control of is yourself. Can't control anybody else. You can only control you. And that is the case. Wow. There are literally no limits. Because if you're the one who's writing your own code, experiencing your own code, and the editor of your own code, you require nothing else but your own human desire to have whatever it is that you're after, whatever you want to experience. It's upon you to experience it, and you can include everyone else, but it's still you. And then you just keep experiencing it from a greater level of yourself because you're the one that's in control of your experience. You are the creator. You see how that works? And these are all just little tools that once you embody them and you realize, oh, I know that that is true for me, then it becomes you. You no longer have to think about it. You just become it, which accelerates your reality even further because now you don't have to think about it. You see?
So tired of thinking. That's probably what it is. I'm very, like you said it earlier, I'm exhausted of thinking. You hit that point where you're like, I'm done with thinking. Let me tell you.
That was me. I just didn't call it that. I was like done not getting what I wanted, but my finger could no longer, like I could be as smart as I am and still not get there. That to me was like the breaking point. I was like, are you kidding? It's not about how smart you are. Because it's internal intelligence.
Can you explain to people what it is you officially, because I love that I think it's important we talked about all the things prior.
Yeah.
But you have this very unique gift, I would say. You can see the programming in people. That's what you are able to do. We've kind of been not dancing around it, but we've been saying like what, we're explaining why it's important. And I think that is much needed, but you can see it.
Yeah.
And that is so cool. I thought it's like, that's awesome that you can do that. And so you explained it to me as it's literally ones and zeros. It is like a computer. We are all running these codes. One is on,
Active.
0 is off, and you are able to go in. And what I want people to understand is like, I didn't tell you shit. You could have watched some episodes. I'm not like naive to that. But I think the things that you pointed out for me that were like codes in my life, I think is, in my opinion, impossible to know without being authentic to what your gift is.
Yeah.
So for me, I know that you're the real deal. So I say that because there is a lot of people, right, who have, who, I don't know, maybe I don't need to get into that. So can you explain to people what you do? I would love for you in your own words to kind of explain what happens when someone goes to see you for a session. What are you doing with them? When clients work with you, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I know you have some stuff you're working on that's going to be maybe a little bit more accessible or available, and just a different lane than you've gone down before.
Yeah.
So
what happens when someone comes to me is let me preface this by this. I know that if someone actually books a call with me, they're ready to face themselves. That I know. 100% of the time. If they're not, they can't even bullshit themselves because they won't be able to hit the pay button. And I know that. I've got a lot of years of experience of that. So that one is showing up before me, ready to face themselves. My role is to be the reflection of where they are right now in this now. And then dive into where they want to be. And a lot of the time, the discovery is, do they even have a vision? Right? You alluded to that earlier. Like, a lot of us don't have a vision. We don't even really know what we want. We didn't realize we didn't know because that wasn't a thought in our minds, right? We're just realizing we're getting somewhere. But the key is we didn't have anywhere to get, which is why we don't. So that's the first thing. We do an assessment. Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? And is that actually where you want to be? And then I read the code in between that. It's not like a psychic reading where you go in and you're reading all this stuff, because it's so like, not that people can't read in that way. That's absolutely true that they can. However, in my world, I'm working with the timeline of you getting what you want, and the accuracy of that must come from you. So when someone comes to me, we need to know where you're standing right now and where you want to be. And then I assess how far away from the timeline where you want to be are you, and what programs are in the way that are preventing you from being on that timeline. Those are the programs we then work with. And by work with, I mean eliminate. Often, and up until now, for the last decade, when I work one-on-one with someone, there's a lot of educating. I educate, because when someone shows up, they're already buying into their own knowing. This is what I want. This is how I'm going to get there. I say, people don't pay me because I'm the only one on the planet that can do this. They pay me for speed. How quickly can I get there? That's why I do what I do in the way that I do, because the speed matters to a lot of people, right? They're like you. I want it now. Okay, right? This is what gets there. In the meantime, there's a lot of education into who are you, and that you're a creator, that you have your own unique human technology, and how to use it. Now, prior to now, and as you were alluding to earlier, I would just do all the work with them. And a lot of times, because it's so accurate and so on point, it works every time, that they leave the education behind because they know they could just pay to come to me and that we'll get down to it. And they just keep living their lives, doing amazing things, really, truly accelerating their place in their world with what they want. And that's been amazing. And I still get to do that. And there's a lot of questions around me that say, well, can't you teach somebody else to do what you do? My answer has always been no. Why? Because I know that my unique gift, my human technology is unique to me. And if I try to teach you how exactly to do it my way, you won't be able to, because you'll buy out. Why? Because it didn't come through you. It's unique to me, not unique to you. The concepts are universal, but how I do it is unique to me. So I'd always say, no, I'm not teaching you how to do my way, because I know it's not going to work 100% of the time, because I know human programming. And if you like all the other things that I used to do, my own life experience included, I would do other people's processes and find it worked and didn't work, right? So then I started adding my own uniqueness to it. Worked every time. That is real and true for everyone. When you do something, when you add your own unique flavor. So with my musicians, it's their unique flavor, not they're trying to be like someone else, because that never works. But when they're fully them, their stuff sells like crazy. They're booking out tours and having to get bigger venues because so many people are booking them, because they're so true to their uniqueness. So in the one-on-ones, I do a lot of the work and create speed. And they are shifting timelines like crazy and actualizing what they really want fast. It's very easy for someone who's like, you know what, I'm just going to pay for the speed. I love that. That's fun for me. But I woke up last year with the knowing that I'm like, oh, I could teach people how to access and know that they have this unique technology, and how to access it, and how to identify their own limiting programs, and then how to edit it and what it feels like, and to know that it actually happened, and they can watch their own life change. I can do that now. So I decided, I'm like, okay, hear the words? I decided, I'm like, I'm going to do that. And so I spent the better part of this year developing the ability, like the people's ability to see themselves and know who they are and know that they have this unique human technology and know that they have an ego that's like AI that can be programmable and know that that's going to be your best ally and support you to utilize the science and nature of you with this reality and humanity to get what you want, no matter how big or how small. And so that has been the shift for me this last year. So over 12 years, this last year has been about, wow, I'm excited to teach people how to access their unique technology, their human technology, and use it for themselves because it's unique to them. Right. And so in my one-on-one stuff, it's literally me doing all the work with permission. There's a buy-in. It's both sides, but I'm literally doing all the work and they know that and it works every time. So they don't care, right, what the technique is and they don't care about all their stuff. They just care that it happens. And then there's another subset of humans that I've understood my work and done it before, but now are really hot to know their own. So they've been going through my Accelerate program to know their own unique technology. And they've been using it on each other and on their own clients. And it's been like next level awesome. Because I'm so excited every time I see them. I'm like, you got the technology, use it, right? And so they do. And shifts happen right before our eyes in a group when they work with each other. And it has been so gratifying to like, I'm just, just when you think like you've hit your pinnacle of peak, you work with whatever humans, and then you get to go next level and like en masse. It really is only the clientele are only those who are ready to face themselves and go, yeah, I know I got human technology. I got technology is unique to me. I'm embracing who I am. And my own little tagline is know thyself and you can't go wrong. Let that land. Know thyself and you can't go wrong. So you have the control. You have the programming. You can edit the programming, create the programming, experience the programming yourself and see it in real time. What else do you want? Sky's the
I love it.
Yeah, so good, right?
So good.
That's where reality architect comes from. It wasn't me who said that. Somebody else said it to me. I'm like, oh, that's fun. That sounds fun to call myself that because you really architect your reality based on what you want, the architecture of it all. And so I've so far been supporting others using my own to connect with. But listen, what we're seeing is what we're being. So I know I am them. And so I can't, and it shifts anyway, right? So there's not a lot of minutia that happens in their brains. There's like, this is what I want, and we get down to it. And you've experienced it.
So cool, Wendy. Look, everyone on their path will come across certain people, and we all have different gifts. That's the beauty of it, right? Like there are, like, there's just it's not about being higher or lower. We're all just different, and I think
Yeah.
you have a really cool gift. And whether you're a medium, a channeler, not you, but I just mean there's these people out there that have these really cool. They've just tapped in. I think that's the best way to put it, and I love what you do. I think it's super cool. So I just want you to know that. I think you know that I know that, but
Thank you.
it's so rad what you do, and I'm excited to have met you and to have spent some time with you. And I think for people listening to know that I am like I'm not just someone who says these things. Like I'm joining it with the audience, and so I know we'll have something below that we'll link. We'll link all of your website and this new program that you're talking about. And so just know that I am actively doing it as well, and wouldn't have anyone on here that I didn't know has the best interest of others on here. And I think you're that, and you're rad, Wendy, for what that's worth.
Thank you. No, I love that you're coming to this moment of knowing thyself, knowing yourself. Because the program that I created actually, and you inspired part of it too, because we had some conversations before. And I realized I'm just sharing from where I'm at right now, usually, because I've only ever like had to be in this position. But I realized in order for beautiful humans like yourself to access your own unique technology, you get to understand a few things ahead of time. So there's a bit of a remembering oh yeah, I know this. So all of this, the little like techniques and things that I teach people to test out are to remember. Oh yeah. And all of a sudden it starts coming together, right? And you become it. But the program that I created is because I was so deep into manifestation before this experience, before I had my own, like, I don't know whether you call it awakening or enlightenment or whatever you want to call it, was I didn't understand why it wasn't working. Like, why am I doing this and why is it not working? It was before The Secret came out, and The Secret just shed light on it, but it still didn't work, right? And so I was
Yeah.
leaning into like, okay, well, what's missing? And that's where I realized instead of, I would say it's not manifestation, it's actualization, like actually getting what you want. Manifestation, like, I don't know, I might be a little old school because I'm 55, like whatever, almost 55. But a manifest is something that you put your order on. So it's literally the list is called a manifest, right? Oh, did you get the manifest? Which has the list of things you want on it? Oh, yeah, I got the manifest. That doesn't mean you have it. That means you have a sheet of paper with a list, right? So to me, it's like, that's so like half baked manifest. It's actualization. So my mission was to, realize actualization. So now my language has shifted in order to include the word manifestation. I used to avoid it, like I was allergic to it because I'm like, that's so not right, right? I did not like it until I realized I'm like, oh, I'm being limiting in my own brain by saying that. Yes, we do get to ask ourselves what we want. It does get to go on the manifest, but you get to actualize it. Like receive the package with the shit in it, with the manifest. Like, oh yeah, here's a directive. So the program that I created was the support to that, in that, okay, remember who you are and that you're the creator and that you're bringing your manifest to actualization. And oftentimes it just takes a reminder. Hey, do you remember who you are? Remember that you're in charge. Remember that you're the decider. Remember that you're creating your reality. That kind of, oh yeah, I am, right? The reminder that I put together all of that in one sweet little package to kind of open up the gateway. Like, okay, I love manifestation and it's missing a little piece of it. So I'm going to deliver you my interpretation of what piece is missing. And here's how we walk through it. And here's like, you get to remember who you are, because I know that every human has this capacity. I know it. So I'm okay if you don't want to know it. That's okay too, because everyone's on their own journey and maybe that journey is not to know it. I have zero judgment, right? It's all good. But that's the difference. So this product is a reminder of who you are, like the first step. Remember who you are, and it's basically steeped in that. And there's a community with it so that people can share their wins to see that, oh yeah, I had my first experience of knowing this is what I wanted. And I threw the ball and nothing was in the way. And here it is, right? It happened. And I had that mind blowing, holy crap moment of excitement. Like, oh, I want to hold on to this feeling forever. That's what I'm excited for.
And truthfully, the secrets are given out in this episode. I mean, everything we talked about today is what it is. Those are the foundational pieces. Knowing, right? Not
Yeah.
belief. Knowing, decisions, not choices. Making decisions, and programs, and that we are all running on programs. I think what you've put together is super cool. Super cool. So I'm excited to also join part. I'm going to link everything down below, your website, this new program you got going on. I will end with this, or I'll throw the ball in your court one last time. Is there anything you want to leave with the people, with anyone who's stuck with us this long? This is, by the way, I think the longest podcast I've done. It's got to be. It's at least close.
You're hitting on a Joe Rogan length, are you?
It's not normal for me. I get exhausted on these, but this has been a lot of fun.
My favorite thing about accessing our own human technology is eliminating the judgment program around what we know and who we are. Because there isn't a soul on the planet that I can judge. And not know that I'm judging myself by doing so. And that changes everything. It opens up the gateway to be an acceptance and allowance of somebody else's opinion, even if it differs from my own. Right? Because what they're seeing is through the lens of all their programming, and I know that. It's really difficult to be upset with someone with their opinions, knowing that the programming is running how they feel. And I really know that the more people that know that about themselves and are in that space, the reality that gets experienced changes dramatically. It goes from the chaos of politics to something very different, right? In every which way from Sunday. In every aspect, just think of all the bigger things, how that would change if we didn't try to pick a side and be so committed to it, even if there's things that we didn't want to believe in, but there was more things than not, and there may be more people than not, or whatever the case may be. Having the experience of non-judgment for the unconditional love's sake, of seeing that people are experiencing their reality in my world via their programming, is so freeing. It doesn't make what I'm seeing right or wrong, depending on what we're looking at, but it does free me from being consumed by emotions that take me down, that cause me to not be able to live my life in a joyous way because I'm consumed by a negative emotion or frustrated or anger because of what's happening. I get it, right? So it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It means I get it and I'm not having an emotional response. Do I want things to be different? Yes. Is it my lane to insert myself? I know that it's not. Being uniquely you in whatever capacity that is the most important thing. That uniqueness is the gold that we're all after. It is the currency of abundance that we're after. And everything that means will follow.
Beautifully said, Wendy. This was fun. I love it.
Me too.
I love it.
Me too.
It's
On
a
the
great
lighter side,
conversation.
my nature is joy, and having fun. And how much fun can you have learning who you are, realizing how freaking powerful you are, and then creating what you want? It's so much fun. It's like, for me, going down a water slide and screaming my bloody lungs out because I'm having so much fun that I want to keep doing it again. That's what life gets to be about. So at the end of the day, when it's all over, you're like, fucking hell, that was so much fun. I want to do it again. How much fun can you have learning who you are, realizing how freaking powerful you are, and then creating what you want? It's so much fun. It's like, for me, going down a water slide and screaming my bloody lungs out because I'm having so much fun that I want to keep doing it again. That's what life gets to be about. So at the end of the day, when it's all over, you're like, fucking hell, that was so much fun. I want to do it again.
I love it. No, you are an amazing human being. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. So I know we will stay connected. We'll be in touch. But thank you for spending some time with me. Thank you for spending some time with the people who stuck through this 2 hours and are still here. So appreciate you as always. We will talk after this, and I'll ping you, of course, when this goes live. And yeah, we'll link everything down below.
You bet. I'm so blessed to be here and so great to know you, Jordan. Really, truly, I think what you're being and the example you're being of how you can battle through the thinker is super inspiring. And that's so for everyone watching, so that you know, what I saw in Jordan in his videos was this gift of the unique, joyous curiosity that was so clean and so delicious. It was like, oh man, that is just so beautiful. And that's what I followed in my wanting to connect with him, because it, like, Jordan, you just have this thing, and I know everyone watching feels the same thing, because we all possess that beautiful, it's almost like innocent, deep curiosity, and like, what's possible here? And that's inspiring. And so that's why I'm here. And I honor you for like the connection that we've created, because you followed your knowing.
Thank you, Wendy.
You bet.
I appreciate you.
And thanks for everyone
Okay.
watching. I don't want to take them out of this either. I appreciate anyone who lasted this long too, because if you have lasted this long, you are super badass. And I'm like, I'm on it. Amazing.
All right, Miss Wendy. I will be in touch. I'll shoot you a text for sure when this goes live, but we'll be in touch before then. So
Mm,
cheers. Bye.
see ya.